What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source of combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Post Best Morrow. Today, I have a gear review on the Hit and Move Suvari boxing gloves. Alright folks, as always, I'm incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review, as today I have the Hit and Move Suvari Horsehair Boxing Glove Series, and for the second time only, I have two different gloves on the same video. They are the same gloves, they are both the Suvari Horsehair Boxing Gloves, only this is the 12-ounce bag glove, and this is the 16-ounce sparring glove, and it's cool because they're both in different colors. They look like chess pieces, so I think that's awesome. But I'm so excited for this because if you haven't watched any of my other Hit and Move reviews, they are one of my favorite brands out there because they do one thing that I always love, and that is innovate combat sports equipment. I love brands like that, such as Rival Boxing, Hayabusa, Onyx Sports, because they all did something that was different, that benefited the boxer or benefited the MMA fighter or combat sports athlete in a good way. And that, you know, boxing gloves for years or combat sports equipment for years never really advanced. And then you have a guy like Ozzy, who's the owner of Hit and Move, similar to those other brands I just mentioned, actually does things within the combat sports community. He's a very good competitor in amateur boxing. He has won a couple tournaments, has won multiple amateur boxing matches, and not only does he compete with high-level amateurs, he competes with great pros as well in his local area. The other thing I love about Hit and Move, and Ozzy and his wife are both good with orthopedics. They know what's good with the anatomy, and when they got into boxing, basically as a fun fitness adventure, they thought the equipment sucked and it made no anatomical sense. And he sat down and said, okay, how can I design these gloves to make them way better and protect your hands in the same way, but yet fit every person's size and needs? And I think that's absolutely awesome. And it just reminds me of like Rival Boxing with Russ Amber, who's one of the best cut men in the game, great amateur coach, great professional coach, coached the Canadian national team. You know, Onyx Sports, that's Trevor Whitman, has a bunch of MMA world champions between Rose Namajunas, Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman. But you think about Hit and Move has not been out for much more than I think 4.5, 5 years at this point, maybe almost 6. And you think of the people that they've touched just over the last year alone. You've seen them in Creed 3. You've seen Gervonta Tank Davis use these. You've seen his coach use the turtle mitts. Mike Tyson used the new air precision headgear. Henry Cejudo, MMA Triple C, we all call him, Olympic gold medalist, said that the headgear is the best headgear he's ever used for MMA, gave it to Mike Tyson, and then on top of it, he also trains the Hit and Move boxing gloves. And what's great is that Ozzy, the owner of Hit and Move, has actually went out to train with Henry Cejudo and talked to him, learn from him. That's the type of owner you're going to want for a brand. That's why I respect Hit and Move so much, and some of my favorite brands out there that I just mentioned, like Rival, Hayabusa, Onyx Sports, Reyes are all up there, and some of my favorite brands, and Hit and Move is right up there with them. And everything I've reviewed, including, it's not just me, guys. If you ever think it's me and like, oh, you're biased towards Hit and Move, go watch Simon from Fit the Box, Carla from C Squared, Coach Dudula from That Boxing Guy. They all say the same things about Hit and Move equipment. It's incredible how well they've been able to do in such a short amount of time. And when Ozzy messaged me, because I do keep in contact with Ozzy, I did buy these gloves myself because because they were so generous when they started, and I said, you know what, let me be a paying customer for these, please. And I have done that. I did draw a line there because I don't want it to seem like it's biased. I did buy these gloves. I've had them for a long time now, and I just wanted to say that Ozzy actually messaged me and said, Coach Allie, always calls me Coach Allie. He says, I did it again. I said, what'd you do, Ozzy? He said, I'm going to change boxing yet again. I said, all right, I believe it. What are you doing? And he said, I'm making a horsehair glove that's not going to be, it's his whole goal. This is the owner of the company, right? His whole thing wasn't to make a profit, though I'm sure he is now because the equipment's great. But he says, I'm not going to outprice people with horsehair. I'm going to make it no more expensive than our other gloves or other gloves on the market. I'm going to make the best horsehair glove that boxing has ever seen. I said, yeah, you know what? I can't wait. So I've known about the different prototypes and designs that they had for well over a year or two when they started, and now they have them here. This is the Suvari series, which, by the way, Suvari, I believe, translates to cavalry soldier, I believe, which is cool because cavalry, obviously you think of horses, horsehair, and stuff like that. And I believe it comes from the word, when I did my research, of suvar or suwar, I don't know how you would say that, which means cavalrymen, which is kind of cool. So that's basically what we got there. But let's go ahead and go into the look of the glove here. And both of them, again, as you can see, I have two different ones here. We'll start with the black bag mitt or bag glove that we have here. This is a 12-ounce glove, and for the bag gloves, they go from 10 to 12 ounces, and they have more of that fight glove fit. And the whole goal of these gloves was kind of give you that 80s horsehair glove feel, and they do a very good job of that. I have put my hands in like an old school gloves that my boxing coach had, and other old school old timers I've met and stuff like that, and it does feel very similar to like a Reyes glove from back in the day and some old horsehair Everlast gloves too. But you got the 12-ounce glove here. You can get them in 10 ounces as well. You can also get these in lace-up closure for both the sparring and bag gloves. But again, 10 and 12 are the bag glove sizes, and then 14 and 16 is the sparring glove sizes. And again, you can get them in black, and you can also get them in lace-up with the Velcro as well. As you can see, sparring glove, I have the lace-up version, and for the bag glove, I have the Velcro version. I am an MMA fighter, so I'm more partial to Velcro. It's just easier. You just strap it on and you're ready to go. You never know, you might be going into an MMA round next with MMA gloves. But you know, I still the lace-ups work very well. They're very lace and loop friendly as well. But again, you have them in two different colorways. You got black and red, so they look like chess pieces, which I think is really cool because boxing is a game of chess, physical chess at the end of the day. And then on top of it, you have a couple different options of 10 through 16 ounces, 10 and 12 being bag gloves, and 14 and 16 being sparring, and you can get them again lace up and Velcro closure. But let's move on into the look of the glove, starting with the black bag glove that we have here. You can see you have a really shiny midnight black. That leather is so shiny, and it works very well. You can see we have that Arctic white and silver hit and move logo right here, and you can see it says hit and move right there, hit and move, I guess you could say, that you can see right there. And over on the thumb, you can see more of those natural grain marks in that really nice leather as well. And they revamped their leather a little bit ago. I believe it's Turkish. I don't know if it's Turkish or Italian, so I'm just going to say it's European leather off the top of my head. I'm not too sure. I don't want to say anything wrong, so we're just going to say European leather. But you can see all the natural grain marks going there. You can also see right down through the palm, right here, you can see all the breathe holes up towards the top and the thumb, the grip bars right there, black lining and piping going throughout there, as well as the stitching. And then when we come down here, you can see you got another hit and move logo there. When we turn it around, you also have a hit and move logo on the strap. Everything is black on the glove here until we open the glove up, and you can see that we have it says genuine leather, which just means it's made out of real leather. That's you know, genuine leather is actually a type of leather, but that's a cheap type of leather. This is not a cheap type of leather. This is just telling you, hey, it's made out of real leather, and it says designed in the USA. It is not made in the USA. It is made elsewhere. And then it says Suvari, again translating to cavalry soldier right there. And you can even see it has the Turkish. I imagine that's just a way you would say the U. I say Suvari, but that might be pronounced completely different, and the I even looks different. It's a cool font. And then when we go over to the white sparring glove here, again, you have more of a black towards the top of the hit and move logo, and you have it in black lettering, more of that Arctic silver, and then you have the black little lines going throughout there. It says hit and move right there, and you again have more of those natural grain marks. It's a little bit harder to see on the white surface, but it does have a lot of those natural grain marks, which looks absolutely awesome on the glove. And again, similar, you have white stitching and white piping on this glove, similar to the black one down there. And you can also see here it says Suvari again. only in black. And you can also see it says genuine leather, designed in the USA. And just like on the other glove I didn't show, but it says 16 ounce there, and it has the Hit and Move logo there on the tag. A little cloth tag right there. And the interior lining for both gloves, which looks really cool. I'll open this glove up so you can see it. The interior lining has the Hit and Move logo all throughout it. In this case, this is black with white lining, or white logos throughout. It says Hit and Move. And then again, it says the same thing. If I open this glove up here, there you go. Black lining with white logos all throughout. Now we go into the build of the glove. Again, I don't want to misspeak because I can't remember exactly where the leather was. I do know that for a while it was Turkish when they updated it. I can't remember if they ever went to an Italian leather, but it's a very soft and smooth leather, and it is definitely a full grain leather because it did not get tampered with that much. Full grain leather basically means that they skin the animal, they tan the hide, and they put it to work. That's the idea. And this is a very soft and smooth full grain leather, and that's just basically what they do in the tanning process. And it's a very thick leather. And what it is, when you have a thick leather like this, it feels soft as well. It's almost like it feels like there's a foam lining the leather itself. And what that is just the hide being so thick. A lot of people actually go camping with things like caribou hide. If you go to a nice leather coat, when you touch it, that's just a hide. It's a membrane. It's kind of like when you touch our skin, it's kind of soft. That's the same idea with this. It's a very soft, smooth leather that you have on the outside. And when I say smooth, Hit and Move's leather frustrates me, and here's why. When you have a display like mine and you're trying to stand gloves up and they're so smooth that they're literally hard to get a grip on and they're sliding against other gloves like this, they're annoying to display that way. But other than that, it just means that it's good quality, really well tanned leather. And again, you have very thick hide over the padding itself, which is absolutely awesome. And you have that leather throughout the entirety of the glove, whether it be at the back of the glove, the thumb attachment, you go down to the piping of the glove. It is all that nice, really high quality leather. And like I'd like to say it's the Turkish leather, but again, we're just going to say it's from Europe because I can't remember if it's Turkish or Italian at this point of the video, and I don't think that's readily available on the website, but that's okay. Understand it's a very high quality leather, and it's right up there with the different brands that you've seen out there. It's very, very good quality leather. Then when we talk about the padding, that's what makes this glove stand out a lot more. When we talk about the padding, what Ozzy told me that he did is instead of putting just, a bunch of horsehair on the inside of the glove or even just quilting it, he made a separate pocket on the inside of the glove right where the knuckles are. Now, if I squeeze here and where the knuckles is, or would rest, you can hear the crunch. Same thing if we're here. You can hear the crunch of the horsehair. But if we go below it, it's the foam that Hit and Move is known for. There's different foam in the back of the glove here. I don't know if it's the same dart padding. It feels a little bit softer. The foam feels definitely a little bit softer compared to the dart padding that they use and everything else. But you can see here, it's soft here. It's still soft up here, but that horsehair is in that pocket up by the knuckles. So it doesn't move at all. So sometimes quilting can actually kind of come unstitched in the glove. It's old school bag gloves and old school gloves in general. They would just shove horsehair in there. You could bat it away from the knuckles. But in this case, you have a pocket that keeps it all in one solid spot. So the leather is keeping it nice and protected too. So when I squeeze in, all the horsehair is only in that one spot. I go any further down, and you can see it's not there. If I go towards the tip of the fingers, I don't think it's in the tip of the fingers. It's a little bit stiffer in the tip of the fingers, but really I feel it right around here. And that's a really cool thing that they did. So it's a pocketed horsehair, and that much they do say on their website. It says it's a pocketed horsehair, and that's really, really cool. So you have that protection of the different foams on the inside of the glove, at least that's what I feel, plus the leather, and then you have that thick, dense horsehair that's inside actually giving you a thick padding to protect yourself, but still have that awesome puncher's feel. And the one thing Hit and Move isn't going to try and sell you on, it still has great knuckle protection, but they say please wrap your hands properly before you use this glove, because it is horsehair. It can be an unforgiving material compared to their dart padding, but still, you know how confident they are, and I agree with them. 10 out of 10 padding for their dart padding, they say. 9 out of 10 for the horsehair padding, and I agree. It does not have quite as good padding as far as like knuckle protection that goes for the dart padding, but it's not that big of a difference. It's still very, very protective. For me, it's very similar to like a barrack boxing type of knuckle padding, only this is definitely a little bit more firm, and I think it breaks in a little bit easier around your knuckles. I don't think it comes, it's supposed to come with that broken in feel, but it definitely took a couple rounds to break it in, maybe like 2 or 3, and that's what I've loved about these. These definitely have like a classic fit and feel to them as far as the sparring gloves go, but the bag gloves definitely have that really like cool modern fight glove fit and feel to them. But when we go into the thumb, you can see both of the thumbs are actually pretty fat, and I like that because you're able to really have a nice wide open surface with your thumb. And it also gives you a perfect curve upwards towards the top. You can see that it's split down the center here. Maybe you can see it a little bit better on the black glove here. You can split it down the center there. That way they're able to attach it, get the proper leather on there, and also give you a nice proper fist position. And the idea is it tucks perfectly behind the knuckles at all times, but it's still loose and broken in enough to where you can open and close and kind of stretch out your thumb a little bit. Not enough to thumb someone, obviously, but so you can maybe clinch or catch a punch. That way you have mobility in your hands so you don't feel like you're just this all the time. You still want to kind of relax your hands every now and again, even if you're boxing. When we go ahead and go over to the palm, you can see, again, you got those nice breathe holds towards the top, and you have some breathe holes in the thumb as well. And the grip bar is very soft compared to the rest of the glove too. The rest of the glove is soft in general, but the grip bar is very, very soft and plush. And you also have some padding down here towards the base, that EVA type style of padding. That way it forms to your arm a lot easier, it hugs your arm a lot better, and on top of it, it provides some support if you're getting nailed on your forearms. Trust me, arm punches hurt just as much as a punch to the body sometimes. The one thing too about the wrist cuff, not only do you have that EVA foam here and that double line stitching keeping everything in place, but you also see that the wrist cuff is a continuous cuff. It's not separated. So the glove was once open and they stitched it, so you have that padding that's going all the way here to give it a nice uniform shape. The glove is also very, very balanced, which is very surprising for a horsehair glove. Usually it's a lot more, a lot more top heavy. In this case, it is slightly more top heavy than say their dart padding, because horsehair you can't balance quite as much, but still there's a perfect amount of balance going towards the back to where it doesn't feel like it's just gonna go boom and topple over. It is a nice puncher's feel, but it does have a nice protective quality to it. So I kind of put it in almost, because it is a little bit more rounded too than some other horsehair gloves. I definitely put them in that puncher's category, but I also give it a little bit more of that defensive type of style because of the roundness of the overall shape of the glove. The 16-ounce glove is obviously a lot bigger. My favorite part about the laces is that the eyelids are silky, buttery smooth. I'm able to pull them out and open the glove up just by pulling out the first two. And the interior lining is that awesome nylon that you have going on here. It feels like a nice dry fit pillow. When I put my hand on the inside, it slides in perfectly, and the grip bar area is so comfortable, and there's tons of room on the inside. If you want your knuckle guards, you're able to do that. I personally think, although the glove is horsehair, you don't really need that much excess padding. I think, you know, it probably helps. I don't think it's going to damage anything, but overall it feels really good when I put my hand on the inside. I'm able to open and close great, by the way, if you're into MMA, Muay Thai. I got really good grips for Muay Thai in the back of the arms, the wrist, my neck, top of my head, everything like that. And for MMA sparring, they're awesome too. I've been able to get really good like single legs, double legs. I actually get pretty good arm control if I'm trying to go for like a double wrist lock series and stuff like that. So overall, they're very nice. And the more I open this, you can actually see the indents in the glove where the horsehair pocket is. You can see up towards here, my fingers, it kind of dents in. I think this is where the horsehair starts and ends, is in this area. And that's really cool. I never really stopped to think about that right there. But overall, you can feel that. And when I push in, you can feel your knuckles a little bit, but not a lot. It's not like you can really push through and be like, oh yeah, that's my knuckle. But when I'm here, it stops impact pretty well, especially the 16-ounce glove. Cool thing about the 16-ounce glove, although this is marketed as a bag glove, you can still hit the bags with these and hit the pads with these. And for me, awesome bag work, awesome for sparring, and they've definitely become one of my favorite gloves as far as that's gone, as far as like multi-use, and as far as horsehair foam blend, they've definitely knocked it out of the park compared to some other brands out there. Just quickly going over some of the differences of the bag glove. Really all it is is you just have a Velcro strap. It fits the same. They have an elastic strap here in the middle. That way it stays nice and tight. But this definitely has more of like your smaller fight glove fit. This still has like a fight glove fit if it was just a little bit bigger. It's like those classic 80s feel fight gloves, which is awesome. And when I strap this tight, still great wrist support. I think the wrist support on the lace up obviously is a little bit better. I wish they maybe put a bar here similar to their other gloves, but all you gotta do is just take the Velcro a little bit higher and you'll be good. It still offers excellent wrist support. The knuckle padding in these feels just like it does in those. It's just a smaller style of glove as far as height goes, as you can see when we take this glove and put it next to this one. It's just a height and width difference is really it. The padding is virtually the exact same. But let's go ahead and go into the bag work for both these gloves, and then we will go ahead and go into my final thoughts. These are the 16-ounce sparring glove version. They still feel very comparable when it comes to hitting the bags to the actual bag glove version. Obviously, you have a couple more ounces of weight to the glove, but the padding feels very similar. I think the only thing I'd say is that the padding definitely feels like there's more to it, which also makes the glove maybe not as flexible in the hand compartment, but that still is such a minor complaint. It's still very, very flexible enough to parry and catch punches. I'm able to sink my punches into the bag as hard as I want, and there might just be a touch more added padding to it compared to the bag glove version. Obviously, dealing with a bigger glove, naturally you will have a little bit more backing to the glove itself, is like the back of the hand, the knuckles, and everything else like that. But still, very good, comfortable, protective glove, although the horsehair is there. Awesome puncher's feel, amazing to hit the bags with. I think you guys will really enjoy hitting them. Now with the Arctic white glove, it just pops out so nice to you. I love how it looks like that futuristic Arctic white, and those Hit and Moves logo pop out really well. One thing I think Hit and Move does very well is they have that futuristic look to them without doing anything too fancy. I just think their overall designs are simplistic, but yet they always speak volumes. For me, they are a professional looking glove. I think you're going to love getting punched in the face by these. Obviously, with the 10-ounce bag gloves, they're going to feel lighter because they are 6 ounces less than the actual sparring gloves that I can use. But the one thing that shocks me the most is actually the Velcro strap. Hooks around your wrist so well, and on top of it, although they weigh less, the padding isn't really compromised that much. I'd say because there's less material in the glove that, you know, the fingers can open a little bit more, and you can definitely let your hands fly a little bit faster compared to a 16 to 18 ounce sparring glove. But at the end of the day, you still get really good knuckle protection for a horsehair glove. It protects the back of your hands, your thumbs. They're very well balanced. They're not too forward punching at all, and I love hitting the bags with these. They protect me. I'm able to really wail into it. For a horsehair glove, I think this is one of the best protective options out there. So when it comes to the look of the black compared to the Arctic white, I personally like the black because it gives that nice, sleek, almost like dress suit type look to it. That black and white coloration that you have going on there. And I always say Hit and Move has a really professional look to it. It's simplistic, but yet, again, it looks like you're going to a very nice business meeting that involves punching people in the face. I love the look of Hit and Move gloves. I think these look awesome too. All right, folks, so my final verdict here for the Hit and Move Suvari series bag gloves and sparring gloves is, you know, it's a bit of a longer video, but it's because when you have gloves that go for about this price range and that have the different type of qualities to it, I want you to be armed with all the knowledge when you want to go and try and buy these or try them out. And so that's why these videos can be a little bit longer, especially with gloves like these. I've loved these. Ever since I took them out of the box, I have used them a lot more than I have everything else. And for me, the price point for these gloves is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. There are some horsehair foam combination gloves I have now that are astronomically more than these, and very few do as good of a job as these. I recently reviewed the Barrack boxing gloves, the classic Americans, and those definitely are softer and have more of that old American style glove feel. And these, I think, do just as good a job as the Barrack boxing gloves do. The only difference is a $250 price jump. Barrack boxing goes for about 500 bucks. These go for $250. And like I said, when you think about all the big brands in the world, like Grant, which is supposed to protect your hand a lot more than anything, but unless you get like the orthopedic foam version, which costs so much, it's over $1,000. The $600 gloves I have are the generic latex ones. And those, they're thick. They protect your hands pretty good, but I mean, even for a horsehair glove here, $250. I mean, you can get a pair of Reyes now for about $220, and then Winnings go upwards of $400. And then you talk about other brands like Rival and Venom, you know, other different brands like that that you see in big, high-profile professional matches. You know, certain Everlast gloves are very expensive. And in this case, when Ozzy told me I'm going to make horsehair gloves that aren't going to break the bank, I didn't know how he was going to do that. I don't know how he does it, but in this case, they have knocked these out of the park. Now, going into a couple things that I love about the gloves. For one, the leather that you get with Hit and Move is absolutely amazing. It's the smoothest leather I have on any other gloves. Like I said, I feel like that they're made of ice, because when I do this, they just slide all over the place. It's like an air hockey table almost. You know, it's very, very smooth leather, very soft leather as well, and it's durable quality leather as well. And that's one thing that I love about it. So it's easy to maintain and clean. When you have leather like this, I have definitely tried the leather conditioner and cleaner on them just to see how the gloves reacted. Obviously, with good quality leather, they're going to react just fine. And you really don't need to spend too much time cleaning the outer shell of this. Same thing for the interior lining. That nice nylon interior lining feels really good, and it repels moisture. It's also antimicrobial as well, and it kills all the germs that's going to try and get in and ruin that nice horsehair quality padding. And that's one thing that I've loved about this glove so far. The maintenance is so minimal with this glove. So if you're looking for a very good professional quality glove that does not require a lot of maintenance, this might be a good route to go for you. The other thing about this glove that I absolutely love is, although it's a horsehair glove, the protective qualities is absolutely insane. There are some horsehair gloves that I've tried where I would tell you, hey, if you got brittle hands, stay away from it. But in this case, I would actually feel very comfortable to say, wrap your hands up, you know, obviously put hand wraps on and stuff like that, and I think you'd be just fine. I think you'd be surprised. If you want a horsehair glove that protects you very well, this one does a better job than really a lot of other gloves that I've ever tried, which is absolutely baffling to say and to think about, because like I said, some horsehair gloves I have tried just don't protect your hands nearly as much as these ones do. So I'm very happy to report that these gloves do such a great job when it comes to protection of your hands, your knuckles, the back of your hands, your metacarpals and stuff, and on top of it, your wrist as well. Great wrist support for both the Velcro bag gloves and the 16-ounce sparring gloves. But here's the thing, it's kind of hard to differentiate these, because yes, the 16-ounce gloves are meant for sparring, but they're both equally good at hitting the bags. This is designated as a bag glove, whereas this hits the bag just as good as the bag glove. So for me, if you just wanted to get a pair to do anything with it, if you wanted to spar, hit the pads and bags, unless you're in a boxing gym that says you need two different gloves to do different things, then in that case, you do what I did, you buy both, or you can just get one and call it a day. And that's one thing that I love about Hit and Move, is how versatile they are. And on top of it, they're not just for boxing. I'm a professional MMA fighter myself. I started in boxing when I was 12, and I think they're great for boxing. I think any boxer would love these. But so far, I've seen a lot of different MMA fighters start to switch over to Hit and Move as well, between Henry Cejudo, Jeff Neal, and a couple other guys like John Wood too, who's I believe at he's Syndicate MMA. And, you know, coaches a lot of big names down there, and he uses Hit and Move equipment, as do a lot of his other fighters as well. I believe he actually coaches Merab Dvalishvili, as well as, you know, Extreme Couture and Longo Weidman MMA. That's Matt Serra, Ray Longo, and all those guys. It's Law MMA down on Long Island. About 5-hour drive for me. But you know, city traffic's crazy. I'm getting off topic. My fault. But when it comes to these gloves, that's awesome. Hit and Move does say, though, and that is one thing I will say, if you are deathly afraid of hurting your hand, they do say, like I said, the dart padding gloves, of their balance, their agility, they say it's a 10 out of 10 because of the protective qualities of those, but the pocketed horsehair gives you about a 9 out of 10. Not a significant drop, but listen, when it comes to horsehair, it can be an unforgiving material, and if you feel like your hands are going to break if you use horsehair, I would not recommend you get these gloves. I would recommend you get a lot of other gloves, but I would say this. I think they're more protective than a Cleta Reyes glove that just has latex padding. I think they are more protective than, say, let's see, some Rival gloves out there, but honestly, you know, when it comes to Rival, they're like tanks on your hands. I think they do a better job than a lot of the gloves out there. Are they a winning-esque glove and that they're the most protective glove on the planet? No. Do they do a pretty good job of trying to do that with horsehair in mind? Yes, they do. For me, as far as horsehair gloves go, this is probably the most protective horsehair glove that I've personally tried. I have a couple pair of horsehair gloves that I will be reviewing kind of soon that do not protect your knuckles near as much as these do. But with that said, that's something you just got to take into consideration. The best parts about these gloves are the quality, the durability, the fit and feel. It's very comfortable, and on top of it, they will last you a very long time, and I would let anyone try these. I think they're a great glove to try for anybody. So with that said, what do I rate these? And again, Hit and Move is the only brand on this channel that has been able to pull this off. I give them an S tier of excellent and a 10 out of 10. I think they have just nailed the idea of the horsehair foam blend. I think everything about this glove is incredible. I think the pocket horsehair is an ingenious design that more people should do. I think people do things like that with the quilting, only it's a little bit more flat. I think making that pocket of thick horsehair is great. And on top of it, if you were to cut the glove open and show it to the owner, he'd be able to stand there proud and say, yes, I designed that, unlike some other brands out there that say, we have horsehair in the glove, and you don't even feel it, right? Or if you cut the glove open, there's like a tiny little piece of horsehair, whereas this is a bunch of horsehair. And on top of it, it's not that much more expensive than some of your other name brands. Like I said, you can get a pair of Cluttereyas now. I've gone up from $200 to $220. Some rival gloves go for about $250 around that same price point. They have some horsehair gloves or very soft foam gloves that feel similar to horsehair for around the same price. It's competitively priced, so you put it in that hard spot. Would I get these over a pair of Winnings? Personally, for me, I like them more because I'm not the big pillow puncher guy, but if you need a glove that absolutely has to protect your hand and you need a pillow glove or a Japanese style glove or a big rounded glove, go for it, right? But still, I think this glove for a horsehair padded glove has done a phenomenal job, and that's why I give it a 10 out of 10. Very protective of your knuckles, the back of your hand, your wrist. Very comfortable, very easy to clean and maintain these gloves. And overall, I have just so enjoyed using these for the last 8 to 9 months, and I plan to keep using these as long as they'll go. I give them a shelf life, honestly, of 5 to 6 years or more, especially if you beat them up. But for me, it's awesome because I got a pair, one specifically for bags, one for sparring. But I tell you what, the great part is the sparring glove is just as good as the bag, but for bag work as the actual bag glove is. So you have versatile options, and they're great for all sports. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. If you have any questions or if you thought I missed anything, please comment below and reach out to me on my social media pages. I love to talk to you about these gloves if you have any questions. Hit and Move has done it again for me. I think for a brand that's only been around for 4 or 5 years, basically, has actually pulled this off. It just baffles me. I don't know how they do it. I wish I was smart like that and I designed it myself, but hey, hindsight is 20/20 at the end of the day. But please, also, we got to 11,000 subscribers, and that's all because you share this with your friends if they need new combat sports equipment. I'm your guy for gloves. Send it to your friends. Let them know that your friend Al is here to help. And on top of it, like and subscribe. 2 little clicks for you, 2 big jumps for the channel. And if you want notifications, hit that notification bell so you can see new uploads coming out. Again, if you have any questions on these when it comes to a little bit more expensive gloves that have a lot more, I guess, complicated qualities to it, I try and nail everything. But again, if I miss anything, please comment below and let me know what you want me to review next. But as always, thank you so much for choosing your source of combat sports. I've been your host, Al the Postmaster Tomorrow with the Combat Corporation. As always, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.